this is it right here. And that is because it's just like God was right here. God wasn't outside of me. God was right here. And so I'm like, no, something is wrong. Something is wrong. The way I'm going with Christianity, something is wrong. And so that's when I decided to start really asking myself the questions and all of that. And that led me out of that journey. So I would say that, hi everyone, how are we doing? My name is Soul. My business is the Scrying Mirror LLC. My title is CEO Founder.
Started, sustained, and succeeded, so you can too. Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, we have my friend and fellow E2C cohort participant graduate, because it's one thing to participate, another thing to graduate, Soul. She's going to give us the game on how she does her spiritual readings, how she got there all the way from Belgrade, but Haitian descent, but born in Belgrade, Florida. Don't say she's from West Palm. Belgrade's its own city, own culture. So welcome to Diversified Game. How are you doing?
Muchas gracias. I am doing amazing. Thanks for having me here, Kellen. I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you. And you guys, we had to do this like in an earthy outside because it's soul. And that's if you don't know, Google that. You guys gotta, learn. So being from Belgrade, how did we get here to have a business where I know, and I'm looking at your earrings with the cross, right? And most people say, oh, that's Christian, this, that.
Yeah.
I know in Belgrade, I know being black, when you said I wanted to do this business, people looked at you like, what? You want to do what?
Okay, so honestly, it took a lot to get here. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I feel like, yes, I grew up in a very, fixated community where we are on what we was brought up in. So if you was raised in Christianity, most likely you are a Christian. And that's okay. If that makes sense for everyone, that makes sense for everyone. But for me, it was a balance. It's like, because I have my Haitian side and I have my American side. And although I was raised and told that I was a Christian, my spirit more so related to my Haitian descent. And that is voodooism. That is, worshiping, having relationships with your ancestors. And that's what works for me. And that's what I had to come to terms with, like, it's not about what works for the masses, it's about what works for you. If we were all meant to be in the same path, on the same road, we will all speak the same motherfucking language. We will all come from the same place, the same community, be the same skin color. But we're not, and that's for a reasoning. And so my purpose is, my intention is basically to bring that authentic energy back to what, you know what I'm saying? To what was programmed onto us, brainwashed onto us. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, who was your support system? And I want it to be a real teachable moment, because no matter what your business is, your support system is going to be very limited, especially with family who we love to share, but we have to think like Joseph in the Bible. He shared his vision and dream, which was really God's, dream to him, and his own brothers sold him into slavery. So who helped you first?
Honestly, if I go back to it and I really think about it, it was when I took my first psychedelic trip. And this was provided to me by a friend that I had in college. And she had half of it left. And she was like, I'm not gonna, take it and stuff like that. So if you want it, you can. And it was crazy because I just came from South Carolina from an internship. And I had friends there and they was like, you should, try it, acid and LSD. But I was still in Christianity. So I was like, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's demonic, this, and that's not good for us and all that. So I was like, you ain't finna catch me taking no psychedelics. And then I got back to Gainesville And then, like, my friend told me that she had half left, and I was like, okay, it's here. You know what I'm saying? I know we said we wasn't gonna try, but I'm like, honestly, we feeling a little risky. And so I ended up taking it, and it was the best trip ever. Like, it was so good, and I feel like it was so good because I never felt like God so close. It was that feeling that I've been looking for in a church, in a Christian community, and I'm constantly trying to search for it there, but it's like something is still missing. And when I was on that psychedelic trip, it didn't feel like it was missing anymore. It felt like, wow, this is it right here. And that is because it's just like God was right here. God wasn't outside of me. God was right here. And so I'm like, no, something is wrong. Something is wrong. The way I'm going with Christianity, something is wrong. And so that's when I decided to start really asking myself the questions and all of that. And that led me out of that journey. So I would say that psychedelic trip, which was from my friend in college. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And you know, now we have so much research. We have so many celebrities. You know, we're hearing from, you know, the Will Smiths, and the people say, oh, I have a shaman. And it's almost like they're saying, okay, it's cool if you do it, but do it under this person. And where 10 years, 20 years ago, it was just, if you did that, you were looked at like either a rebel, drug addict, a punk. You can name all the names, but now Silicon Valley has written books and said, yes, this is how we figured out how we made this, because we got out of our mind. I've never been that out of my mind, but I've been out of my mind, right? And that trip that you took, and I can only take it from what I read, it seems like you don't ever have to, you know, they always talk about searching for a high, but it seems like the high is in you. You just have to be able to pull it out.
There we go. We're not depending on the substance itself. That's not what we're connected with, not the repetition with it, you know what I'm saying, the cycle with it, but more so the tools that comes with it, the resources, what you can possibly gain from it. And don't get me wrong, it's not for everybody. Like, let's state the facts. You know, some people try it and they never come back the same, and that's just how it is. But you have to know if it works for you. What are your intentions? You know what I'm saying? Why are you really doing it? Do you feel like you're really ready? And that is why most people advise having a guardian, basically a shaman, because these are basically experts in that industry that can guide you into a trip that would be meaningful and purposeful for you. So yeah, it just depends on the environment, your mentality. It depends on a lot of things, and that's where your intuition has to come in. You have to know if this is right for you or not. It's not for everyone, but it is for me, and that's okay.
And I think a lot of people say, if I don't come back the same, it's almost red pill, blue pill, right? I'm definitely offered, I mean, I don't know, the red pill. Yes, no one's offered me a red pill, but I'm taking red because my whole life I've think outside of the box. That's why I probably never took it, because I'm scared, what am I gonna think? They're not even ready for me now. And I'm talking stuff that we can do. When you talk about going to Pluto, you know, and then actually seeing the vision with the strategy to do it, are they going to be ready? Scripture says, you know, too much knowledge can kill you. But have you found a way to monetize this where people will pay you? Because there's a whole community for it. I would say probably majority of them aren't your typical black folk who, when they're looking for therapy, when they're looking for enlightenment, you want me to do what? You want to read? You want to do some spiritual readings, and you talking about getting high. That's what they don't see it, you know, unless Will Smith says it. You talking about getting high versus, you know, taking through a journey in a portal. But how did you get your first client?
My first client. Oh my God, who was even my first client? Oh guys, there's like a plethora of snails right now. How I get people to invest in my business really is just by talking what I have experienced. So I feel like I don't really come from a space of me trying to sell them something, but more so telling them, you know, this is what it is and this is how it impacted me and affected me. And basically, you know, they can either resonate with that energy, have faith in that energy, be willing to, you know, be curious and try it, or they can be strict to it, restricted to it, confrontational about it. And it's just like, all I can be is me. That's how I feel. This is what I got, this is who I am, and it's up to you on whether or not you allow that energy into your universe or not. That has nothing to do with me. And so that's just how I feel about it. I just feel like the best way of me getting people to attract to my business is just me showing up as myself.
And with that, if you do give somebody a reading and they don't like it, are they able to rebuke that in the name of Jesus? Are they able to get that off of them and say, I don't accept that, you can take that back? And does that cost more?
Does that
cost more? Like, no, I don't like that card. Boom. You know, no, okay.
Absolutely not. That's not my crowd. That's not my teams. You either gonna let me do what I'm supposed to do, or go find another one. That's another thing. Not everybody works for everybody. But what I realized about me, like, it's gonna have to be intimate, private. Like, this is something that I take very serious. It's not something that I can just go to a party and start doing around a bunch of people. Like, I feel like this is something not to take lightly. And I feel like that message just go over everyone's head because of what has been programmed throughout, you know, the masses in their society. And it's just like, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm here, to be like, I don't claim that energy for me, because for me it works and I'm gonna stick to it. And yeah, okay. And I always been good with cards ever since I was a child. Games, cards, always loved something that was different, unique, authentic, all at the same time. Like, it just, yeah.
Well, tell them you about a child growing up in Belgrade, where I got a tour of Belgrade with Saul, her brother, showed me, you know, and I need to see more, where, because he needs to show me where he was hunting rabbits and what that looks like, because, you know, I told you we got a tour company out there, you know, that I'd love to see y'all put together, because that is so different than anything that growing up in California. If we even saw rabbits, it would be legal probably to kill them, like, and catch them. But what, you know, growing up there, Soul, you can see on her YouTube, she be playing with the snails. That's why we are here. You guys go to the YouTube, you know, link should be in the description. Talk about that, you know, the earthiness and being from Belgrade and being able to connect with earth. When did that start?
In college. Honestly, it wasn't throughout my childhood. Like, yeah, as a kid in school, Boys and Girls Club, you know, I was a cheerleader, I was a dancer, so I would be outside, you know, practicing a lot, or even just back at home, we would have to go outside a lot. And so I feel like I had a life outside, not just inside, you know, because we was in that middle, that in between worlds where it's like we still didn't have technology, and then we did, you know what I'm saying? So I got to experience both sides of that. And so I feel like that still allowed for me to be a child and to be outside with no fear. And it's like throughout school, back and forth, either I would be inside or I'd be outside. And when I really got in high school, I was just inside a lot. And even in college, I was inside a lot. And I was very depressive around that time, just very low vibrational, I feel. And then it was like this one summer I came back home, and there's this huge yard that's in the back of our building, and it always been there when I was in high school, and I would hardly go in that yard. But when I would come back home from college and I would go in that yard and I would sleep under the tree. I would go walking around the whole field. It's like 2 yards. And then you have a canal, and then that just goes all around it. And you can walk barefooted, you can climb the gates, you can be under the tree, you can even be out there naked if you wanted to. Like, yeah, so it brought me, that's how I got brought back to nature. And ever since then, we've just been locked in. You know, I would still have my seasons where I'm isolated from nature, but when I'm in nature, I'm in nature. And so, yeah, it's definitely a relation back to my hometown.
And, you know, there's so many stereotypes out there. Everybody can get online and be talking. And what we see right now, like with your nose ring, back in the day, I mean, the punks, rockers used to have that, and that would be, say, okay, I'm a punk rocker, maybe I'm a rebel, whatnot. You know, many of us had at least 1 earring, some had 2 tongue rings. You know, I did that, and it was like people didn't get it, and when it was still fresh. Now everybody can have everything. What does that nose ring mean to you? And I want that to be a teachable moment, because there's a lot of people who think when they see that now that, oh, that person must be whatever clique they want to think. So to you, what does the nose ring mean?
For me, my nose ring means expression. It means, like, I want it to be that rebellion energy. That's, you know, my Pluto in Sagittarius. You know, we are rebels, and then I'm a Sagittarius rising. So it's like, that's what we're known for, is being in our most freedom of self. We have to be free. We have to be able to do whatever the hell we want to do, or it's just not going to work. And I feel like this nose ring is just that representation to me, because I remember growing up and you would hear all types of stigmas about it, and it's like, but we reclaimed that, you know, and we made it us, uniquely us. And I feel like it is uniquely me. It is an extension of who I am, you know what I'm saying? Just like my tattoo. You know, why do we do anything? Why do we wear the patterns that we wear? Why do we wear the accessories that we wear? It's just another accessory. It ain't no different from a necklace. It ain't no different from your ears being pierced. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And, you know, I've had other psychics on recently. I even had one on who went from prostitute to intuitive, this, that, the third, and she talked about, you guys, Caucasian woman was on, she talked about how she retired her husband, she made $1 million in this field. Now she went from prostitute to that, and she's no longer prostituting. That is great. And that's a story that I'll always would tell, because where you start doesn't mean that's where you finish. But let me just put the warning out there for those thirsties who do listen. And I have more listeners and followers, but this one I might get, you know, even more. I might get Cat Williams Club Shay Shay numbers, because we got soul. But there is no formation if you book soul for a reading in person that you're getting anything else. Because I think people think, oh, you're a free spirit, you're open to do whatever, and then I can just buy into, oh yeah, I'll buy this, I'll buy that. Have you had trouble dating when people say, oh, you can read my mind?
Honestly, not from my perspective. No, I didn't have that experience. If anything, what I did experience is like, if anything came from the woman, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, sometimes you would get these women who willing to give you money, you know, pay for your services, and become loyal to that, but it's what the energy they are looking for, you know what I'm saying? Because it can get very chaotic, you know what I'm saying? If someone coming to you just to gossip, know about other people with ill intention, it's like, it's just not, it's not going to work, you know, at least for me, because that's not the vibration that I want to come from. That's not the space that I want to be in. Not all money is good money, and I've experienced that, and I'm like, okay, although I am receiving the money, but how is this affecting my soul? How do I feel about this energy? Because it's an energy exchange. It's not just me, you know, giving them the reading, I'm reading them too. And so it's an energy exchange, and you want to make sure that the intention of what you are doing it for, that person has to have that same intention, or it's not going to work. You know, some people, readings can go in all types of ways, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just like music, songs, everything, you know, everybody have their own tune. So you have to allow the ones who vibrate at yours despite the money, and that's how I feel.
Has it been financially, and I'm thinking about the person who they're hearing your story and saying, that's me. I feel liberated now. Financially, is this a business that you would tell someone quit everything, go full time, because there's so many people in the world that are going to pay you for this in your area? Or is it like most businesses, a grind, and you're going to have to put, you know, maybe your 10,000 hours or more in so you can see the sun shine?
I believe in the progress of it all. You know, I feel like you are going to have those seasons where you are having to go full in and really focus on what you're trying to build. And I feel like you're also going to have those seasons where you are going to have to put in 10,000 fold in order to make something shake. I feel like it's all like a frequency, a wave to it. It's like, you know, you find yourself, you up, you're ready to go, and then you find yourself, you need to rehibernate, you need to vibe a little bit, regroup a little bit before you come back out. At least that's how it feels for me, you know. I feel like I'm not the type to really be all go, 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 go. Sometimes it has to vibe a little bit. And because when we vibe, we're able to, okay, take a step back to really see, to regroup, and then we get back out there. At least I feel like that's what has really been working for me. And I would have those moments where it's like, but you need to be, you know what I'm saying, full force. You need to be at a pace where you are consistent, you know what I'm saying? But it's like also there's just other things that needs to be a priority too. So I feel like I constantly have that back and forth, but it's like I'm always grateful in the end that it went exactly how it was supposed to, one way or the other.
Okay. And if she told you, what if she came out and said, I had my first $1 million on my second client, right? And then everything, and that's a whole nother story, but she'll tell you that in a book or a blog on her YouTube, which the links will be in the description. Can you tell us a community give back that you are doing in your business or that you would like to do in the future?
That is a good one. Oh my goodness. A community give back. What I would like to do, honestly, is an event. I would like to create an event where all, you know what I'm saying, children, teenager, kids can come from different communities that are usually overlooked, and you know, everyone comes to the community, and you're going to have different things for different, you know what I'm saying, age groups going on, whether that's spiritual, physical, mental, you know, that could be sports on one side, that could be spiritual stuff going on one side, people dancing on another side, something of that sort, because I feel like that's what we're really missing right now, is that sense of community here. And it's like we have to fight for it. It's not just going to be brought back. We have to be able to fight for that. And I feel like with the position that I'm in and what I am learning in this season that I'm in, I feel like is more than a possibility of it actually happening. And I see it coming together, but it's like at the same time letting it pace itself. And so, but yeah, I definitely would like to do a community event. Yeah.
Well, you definitely need to write that down, write that vision down, make it plain, because there's so many events here in Palm Beach County alone, and not to speak of all of South Florida, that they need new ideas, fresh ideas, And again, we met through the E2C cohort. Here, you guys, we went through this program for weeks on weeks on weeks so we could learn from each other, no matter where you were in business. Because there were people there who had $9 million contracts doing big things in restaurants and doing big things. And then there's people with new businesses or businesses that are going to explore. It's just like one thing begets another, you know that. And you just keep on trying. And then they tell you, oh, you'd be great. And then, so there are people who do like one event a year and they get paid enough to live.
Yes.
Okay. So, that's if that's what you want and bring it together, you definitely can do that. Tell the people, what the future looks for you for this year and how they can connect with you. Because I don't want to give them too much because I want them to go to your YouTube so they can see you playing with the snails and how you were doing that. I don't, Soul has brought her bird over here. That's it. We hear squawking. That's her bird. I do believe that fully because he hasn't left since we started talking, and he said he wanted an interview. So what can they see besides you bringing the birds and maybe even the bees and everything? What can they expect from you and how can they connect with you?
Okay. First and foremost, guys, you guys can follow us, connect with us on all platforms, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, the Scrying Mirror LLC 828. No, the Scrying Mirror 828. My bad. And then I have my website. It's thescryingmirror.com, www.thescryingmirror.com. Come join the tribe, okay? Because we giving everything authentic, everything community-wise. Yeah, I don't know, my heart is beating so fast. I'm getting so emotional. Wait, no, Kellen. I never had to do this before, and it's just been in my head, and then it's like I'm actually doing it. I thank you for that. But yes, guys, the Scrying Mirror LLC on all platforms. We have apparel coming out, accessories coming out, unique events, and merchandise. So stay tuned. Even a blog. So yeah, connect with us. Yeah. Come on. You want to. Yeah.
Y'all have been blessed with the game. Now it is your job that you've watched the game all the way through to go over, look in the description, go check out what she has. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. But even more importantly than all of that, make sure you share the game. It will change somebody's life. Y'all be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.